Carnosaur 2 is a 1995 creature feature directed by Louis Morneau. When communications with a secretive government facility goes silent, a team of engineers are sent in to fix the problem, but instead, they find the place overrun by flesh-eating dinosaurs. But before we dive into this blatant aliens ripoff, I just want to ask if you could please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. So thanks. Also, there will be full spoilers ahead, but if that doesn't bother you, then grab your daffodil-flavoured popcorn and whip out your favourite Kevin as we dive into Carnosaur 2. So, the movie begins in an underground facility of some sort, and Cowboy Kevin is wandering around checking how dank it is. But he hears something lurking, and lets out a scream very indicative of the quality we can expect from this movie. Then he gets attacked by the cameraman. We're then introduced to Jesse, who looks a bit like John Connor, so I'm going to call him John Connor. So John and his mate break into somewhere they're not supposed to be and find some dynamite, with John thinking, yes, I can finally blow up that squirrel across the street that keeps staring at me. In the control room, these fellas are wondering where Cowboy Kevin's got to, and this fella delivers his line with the passion of a passion fruit.
Waller, that loser, he's probably jerking off.
Well, it is jerk off o'clock, so yeah, he probably is. John and his mate get busted though, as his uncle turns up and says, John, I've told you about this before! That squirrel is too tough for dynamite! You're gonna need at least thermite to get through its armour! And John says,
We were just trying to have a little fun.
Fun? Yes, fun! Starts in F, ends in unfun! But while his uncle goes to tell his boss he's finished for the day because he's tired as fuck, John goes to have a crack with this fella, who shows him how to use a forklift truck thingy, and warns him not to press this particular button, as it opens some doors to a 150-foot drop, which is totally not going to be used to kill the T-Rex at the end of the film. And no, I didn't just ruin the end of the movie for you, because it's clearly not going to happen. So John and his uncle go to the local diner to discuss their squirrel destruction plan, until something throws a fella through a window then starts wrecking the joint. I mean, I assume it's a dinosaur, but you don't actually see it, so as far as I'm concerned, it might just be an irate customer going, I asked for brown sauce, not ketchup, damn it! We then get introduced to our protagonist, Jack Reed, who looks like a budget Kurt Russell, so I'm going to call him Bert Tussle. Bert's an engineer, who, as you'll see throughout this movie, just does the most bafflingly bizarre things all the time. Then we're introduced to the other engineers. We've got Not Vasquez, Ham, and, hey, it's the same guy who played Donkey in Carnosaur 3! But in this one his name is Monk, so obviously I'm going to call him Monkey. So the team of engineers are wondering why they've been called into work so early in the morning. Then Captain Pirate walks in and tells them that they've accepted a job from this fella, who is the equivalent of Burke from Aliens. Also, he looks like a Burke, so I'm going to call him Burke. So they all get in the chopper and head to this facility wearing the stupidest fucking headgear I have ever seen. When they arrive, Ham tries to Hudson the door open, but once they're inside, they find the place trashed. But Bert Tussle spies John Connor in the corner, and because he doesn't understand human life, he says,
What's this?
It clearly looks like a human child of some sort. Bert. They say he's in shock, but I've seen better shock from a deceased electric eel. So Bert tries to shake some sense into him, but Tussle and Captain Pirate are like, hey, leave him alone! It's not his fault he can't act. So instead, Bert tries to stop the engineers from looking at what they're fixing, which somewhat defeats the bloody purpose, doesn't it? It's like hiring an electrician to fix a faulty light, but saying, get it fixed, but don't you dare check to see if it works. Meanwhile, Tussle is trying to depress the kid into waking up, so he tells them that he had a son once, but he died. Then he proceeds to stroke the kid's cheek like a creep, before the kid once again shows off his acting talent.
Oh, God, help us.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna let nothing happen to you.
You only met the damn kid 5 minutes ago. He's still in badly acted shock. They're clearly going for a Ripley-Newt style relationship here, but it ain't working. Tussle just comes across as a fucking weirdo. So they go deeper into the facility, presumably to find more things Burke doesn't want them to look at. But wouldn't you know it, they're about to fix shit when Burke stops them from going any further, saying it's off limits to civilians. What the fucking... Why would you even hire them then, Burke? Non-disclosure agreement! Sorted! Bell end! Also, we're now 30 minutes into the film, and we haven't even seen a dinosaur yet! What the hell is going on?
I mean, what the hell is going on?
They disregard Burke's orders and walk into the restricted area, and Tussle gets all inquisitive like,
What the hell is this place? What the hell are those?
Where are we? What year is it? Who am I? They soon start hearing dinosaur noises though, right before Captain Pirate is grabbed by some wiggly knife fingers and pulled down into a hole, where he is presumably wiggly knifed to death, leaving everyone else thinking, let's get the fuck out of here! On their way out, Tussle says,
Get up the steps!
Get up the steps! What the hell is going on?
We're going up the steps! Get up the steps! What's your favourite pop group from the 90s? Steps! But unfortunately for Ham, he turns around to see one of the rubber raptors towering over him. It slashes him in the face, then Ham reacts like anyone would in that situation.
Okay, it's on now.
Little does he know it's only on for the raptor, and it drags him away and makes him into a nice ham sandwich. Yes, that is the only reason I called him Ham, for that one terrible joke. You're welcome. Anyway, the kid is awake now and finds the others while the pilot lass goes to start up the chopper. But just like the pilot in Aliens, she's attacked by a raptor hiding on board and the helicopter crashes into the ground, cutting short their escape. Apparently there's 80 miles of desert in each direction, so the only thing they can do is go back into the facility.
Great. Wonderful. Shit.
So they're back inside and start grilling Burke for getting them into this mess. But Burke is such a slick and eloquent son of a bitch, he can talk his way out of anything.
Come on, do you think I would have gone down in there had I known? Jesus.
Tussle tries to come off as a tough guy, but all 5'7" of him is about as imposing as a pissed off Pomeranian. But they finally get some information out of Burke, who admits that his company kept some of the eggs that evil scientist lady in Carnosaur 1 had, and they stored them on ice in this facility. But obviously they hatched, and well, god, the whole plot makes no sense, does it? Moving on. But they've got to do something, so the kid tells them about the dynamite he was going to use on the squirrel. So the team plan to blow up the facility, and the dinos along with it. Monkey Tussle head down a few levels to get the explosives, but Burke, being a dickhead, locks them in a room like Ripley and Newt with the facehugger in Aliens. Except this one doesn't have a facehugger, or anything that's a threat. And also, Monkey Tussle almost immediately managed to get the door open, which makes me wonder what was the bloody point in this scene in the first place. So they go and set the explosives, but Burke turns up and knocks out Monkey, then has a hilariously pathetic tussle with Tussle. Thankfully he's saved by a much more capable monkey. Then they cart Burke back to the control room, who explains he doesn't want them destroying the facility because the lower levels are a stockpile of government-owned nuclear material, which would make a sizable dent in the area if exploded. Which leads Tussle to come out with one of the best delivered lines of dialogue I have ever heard.
You guys are all a bunch of sick bastards.
Oh, God. Oh, man. You guys are all a bunch of sick bastards. Bastards. So the kid comes up with the idea of crashing the computer system to send the facility into emergency mode, which should not only send out an automated distress call, but will also lock down the lower levels so the nukes won't go kablamo when they blow the joint up. Gotta hand it to him, that's some damn fine thinking, kid. Meanwhile, those sneaky raptors have started to figure out the trip mines keeping them at bay, so our heroes need to get a move on. So they pile in an elevator trying to get topside, but one of the raptors bursts through the ceiling and pulls out Not Vasquez. She then gets her arm bitten off and her guts pulled out, which is pretty gross, and the effects are decent, so I'll let it off. With the lift buggered, they try and go through the vents and access tunnels. Now the chase is heating up and one of the trip mines goes off, collapsing the roof and injuring Monkey. So, mirroring the scene where Vasquez and Gorman make a last stand in Aliens, Monkey and Burke do the same and blow themselves up, taking the raptors with them. But the explosion really awkwardly knocks Tussle over a ledge, because he has the balance of a pig on a unicycle. I mean, come on, he could so easily get up from that position, it's ridiculous! But then if he did, we wouldn't have got this reaction. So John Connor goes for help and finds the evacuation team up top, but this guy in orange appears to be completely deaf.
There's no time. We gotta go save Reed. What? They're dead. All dead. What? The dinosaurs. What?
The kid can't leave Tussle, so he turns back and runs inside to get him. Conveniently, he finds him pretty sharpish, so the two of them head towards the exit. But on their way out, they bump into a T-Rex. Where the hell has it been hiding this whole movie? Ah well, fuck it. It chases them into an elevator like the Queen Alien chasing Ripley and Newt. Then once they get back up top, it seems that the T-Rex has found its own way up. How? Well, how clearly doesn't matter, and after it bites off this pooer bugger's head, the kid hops in the forklift thingy and fights the T-Rex power loader style, though without any of the intensity or excitement. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, he presses the button that the guy at the beginning told him not to press, and then with the enthusiasm of a carrot, he says, "Eat this, Barney," and rams the T-Rex down into the 150-foot drop, killing it, and proving me wrong in the process. The little git. Then in the helicopter the kid detonates the explosives, destroying the facility and everything within it. Oh, and I guess he's gonna get adopted by Tussle now. The poor fucker. End of movie. Well, if you couldn't tell, Carnosaur 2 is a blatant Aliens ripoff, and while it's easily the worst of the three Carnosaur movies, it's still somewhat enjoyable, and I'd say it's definitely worth watching just for how unintentionally hilarious it is. So, Carnosaur 2, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you loathe it? Let me know in the comments below, and if you could please hit that like button, it would make me very happy. But above all else, thanks for watching. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some squirrels to fight, because they're all a bunch of sick bastards!